With varying degree, all digital cameras produce electronic noise. These are extraneous pixels sprinkled throughout an image. Higher ISO, underexposure, long exposure, over-sharpening, all these can increase this effect. In this video, I'll show you how I applied noise reduction to this image, which was shot in low light at 6400 ISO. Now, at first glance, you don't see the noise, but I know there's noise because I'm looking over here at the histogram, and I see here that it's shot with 6400 ISO. That's my first clue. But in fact, if I come over here to the navigator and select one-to-one view, I'll see that noise. Let's get rid of it. So over here in the right side panels, under the detail panel, let me get rid of the histogram first so I have a little more room. Under the detail panel, let me open that up. We can see there's sharpening and noise reduction. All right, so the first slider under noise reduction is the luminance slider, and this is the heavy lifting slider. This is where you're going to get a lot of noise reduction just by moving the slider over to the right. And I'm going to go ahead and move it past the point where I will be happy because I'm reducing the noise, but I'm also reducing the sharpness. Now watch what happens when I go all the way to the right. It becomes almost plastic looking. So the secret here is to find that medium point, the point where right before it starts to look fake or unreal. And at the same time, you've reduced the noise. So I'm going to get it right about there. And I can fine tune this by using the detail and contrast sliders below luminance. Bringing back a little more detail, a little more contrast, and bringing a little more noise into it, but also a little more sharpness. Now, the other type of noise reduction is done by the color slider down here. Now, color, you find more of the color noise in the shadow areas. Let me go ahead and find a shadow area, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Down here probably, we're going to see some color noise. Now, in order to see this better, I'm going to turn off the luminance correction that I made, and I'm also going to increase my view to 2:1, and then I'm going to turn the color slider all the way to the left. And you see all this color now in the shadow areas. This is where the color noise shows up, and I can get rid of it really easily by moving the color slider over to the right. And you don't lose that much detail, a little bit of detail as you go to the extreme far right, but you don't really need to go that far to get rid of the color noise. And again, just like under luminance, you can fine tune with the detail slider, bring a little bit of the detail back by moving that slider over. So between the luminance slider and the color slider, you should be able to do a good job of getting rid of a lot of the noise in most images. Let me go ahead and come back so you can see the full effect. I'll go back to 1:1. And let me put this back to where it was, right about there, and show you side-by-side view. So you can see the noise has been reduced. We've kept a lot of the details there. So there's always going to be a trade-off between noise reduction and sharpness. But with Lightroom's controls, you can boost your ISO and your camera with confidence, knowing that you can reduce a lot of the resulting noise later in Lightroom.